o'clock. All right. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Our first thing on the agenda is to approve last week's minutes. Hold on. So let me put those up on the screen for you. Of course, I can't look at the minutes because this is in my way. Okay. All right. You all have all had a chance to look at last week's minutes. Does anybody have any questions? Senator Vargas.
Motion to approve the minutes. Second.
Motion to approve the minutes, seconded. All in favor, please raise your hand or do a thumbs up emoji. Any abstentions? Should have said any votes against. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to the agenda. Share that to the screen. Is anybody, oh, wow, I'm really off my game for my last meeting. This is great. Chief of Staff Peters, would you mind coming up here and doing the roll call? Need the Jeopardy music. All right, go ahead.
Senator Gonzalez, Senator Niet, Senator Manning, Senator Anderson, Senator Vargas, Senator Waller, Senator McCain, Senator Ocampo,
Here.
Senator McNamara, Senator Buchanan, Senator Kirkby, Senator Brown, Senator Kipp, Senator Templeton, Senator Kai,
Yeah.
Senator O, Senator Carnes, Senator Holm, Senator Santee, Senator Reed, Senator King, Senator Minnick, Senator McAdams, Senator Govea, Senator Trop, Senator Harlan, Senator Bhatia, Senator Black, Senator Mattern, Senator Okiki,
Yeah.
Chief Justice Burleson. Yeah.
All right. Up next on the agenda is anybody here for open forum? Yay. All right. Well, first up on speaker's podium, we have Senior Vice President of Marketing, Jeff Noblet, here to talk to us about updates for the website. Let's see if the screen sharing works.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, thank you. Well, I have a big smile on my face because I love the opportunity to talk to students, and I love the opportunity to talk about marketing UT Tyler. And our public website is far and away really the #1 way that we do that. uttyler.edu is where many of our prospective students start their journey with learning more about what it means to be a UT Tyler student, the opportunities that we have here in and out of the classroom, including becoming a member of student government and other student organizations, our athletics. And then once you're here, it's a resource for you to find access to resources to keep you on path to completing your degrees. It's a place when you're an alum, you can come back and engage with the university, and whether it's through the career success or coming back for homecoming, and hopefully supporting today's students. So it really is that full spectrum vehicle for us to communicate and engage with all of our audiences. So that was a mouthful. And where we're at, why I'm here today and why I appreciate the opportunity to come is we are in the midst of relaunching our .edu, our website. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Some of them include, we still have a legacy website for the Health Science Center. It's still out there, aging poorly. And so there's a need to consolidate that content and information. There's also how we manage that content. There's 2 different content management systems, which is inefficient and really inconsistent. And really, there's an opportunity for us to tell the story about UT Tyler, to talk about what makes this university special, how we're different from other universities, and to really capture the full breadth of the student experience here. So those are some of the key goals for why we're embarking on this. Our primary audience, and I say this to a room full of current students, is prospective students. But that doesn't mean that we don't have intentional plans to really offer resources through the public website for current students, current faculty and staff, other people that influence the decision-making process for prospective students. So parents, families, guidance counselors, as well as the East Texas community in general, and alumni and donors. So we're at a point, and again, the timing is great because I'm here sharing the concept for a new homepage, and with the plan to collect any feedback. Earlier today, I presented to University Council. Next week, I present to Faculty Senate and Staff Senate. So really with the goal by the end of this month to capture feedback on the direction we're heading, which is grounded already on a lot of research and discovery. We've came to student government. We had focus groups across the university and externally. We talked to prospective students. We talked to alumni and donors. We want this to be a comprehensive and inclusive process. I'll, without further ado, I'll see if I can share screen and then share where we're at and collect feedback. Okay. So this is where we're at. So this video that's streaming right here is really kind of a placeholder at this point. It's meant to show kind of the functionality, but you'll actually see kind of some old brand, and this is the current video on our homepage. But really what I want to show is kind of the structure and the direction we're heading. So right here, right off the bat, you'll see that we're planning to create landing pages for these audience-based content. So this current students landing page is where we would attempt to kind of recategorize and capture all of those resources that are going to be relevant to current students, to have you really connect to the resources that will, again, keep you on path to on-time graduation. Faculty and staff, similar, alumni, and health is going to be, I think, a really robust landing page as well, given the really just incredible portfolio of things that fall under health, both for UT Health East Texas, to our academic programs, to student health. And now this deserves a special call out. So months and months ago, when we kicked this off, and I was up here probably fumbling for words like I am tonight, we talked, I shared kind of what the game plan was, and I laid out the process. And I heard from Senator Gouveia, I believe, an ask to consider having information in Spanish, given that we are a new HSI and that is a growing part of our community and our students. And sure enough, we tested, and it was a great idea. And it was really validated talking to multiple stakeholder groups. And so we are planning for launch to have not the full site translated, really what we've looked at, and there's different models out there, but what we're planning to do is to have a curated landing page for Información en Español, where we could really try to lay out what the steps to becoming a student here at UT Tyler, the resources available for our community, with really the target audience and being parents and families of our current students and prospective students. So Thank you. And I hope we did good and including that and listening. So we also want to have these calls to action up here prominent. And then you're going to see a call back to that. But really, again, with the prospective student focus, we want to help students quickly request information, apply, visit, and, when you're an alum, give after you've, paid off your loans and everything. And then we have these different buckets where we would have laid out really the complete kind of array of information on academics. So that's where the colleges and schools would live. That's admissions and aid would be really focused on the new student life, which I'll open up. Would really be where we try to talk about the student experience. And so just showing kind of some of the different opportunities here, whether it's housing and dining, student orgs, health and wellness, Greek life, study abroad, commencement. But, some of these may change as we progress and do usability testing. And research and about. So that's those really kind of that top bar is where a lot, if you do heat maps, when you're looking at website development, that's where a lot of those clicks are going to go. But we've also found that some students want to kind of tell me a story. Let's talk a little bit more. Let's show more. And so as we scroll, we start to see, there would be a new video content. But one of the things we're excited about is telling more student stories. I think that prospective students want to be able to see themselves here, and how better to do that than to tell the stories of students like yourselves. And so we would plan to have different stories and talk about the opportunities in our academic programs. And so you see here, chemistry and music, but then this being a new function, a new feature for a program finder where prospective students can find everything from micro credentials to doctorates and everything in between. I don't know how well it's showing up on the screen, but we have this textual element. One of the things that really animated a lot of the conversations we've had about this project is both the sense of place. And so it kind of evokes like a topographic map, this where we're at here in East Texas and the beautiful environment that we're so fortunate to live and work and learn, but also the different pathways, that there's so many different pathways that students have available to them. One of the things that I've heard a lot about and may not be as relevant to current students, but I think is really kind of one of those points of pride, is where we really excel. And so we can talk about some of the different highlights of the university. So having the first med school in East Texas, the amount of scholarship and grants and the number of student organizations. And, these could be updated and rotated. More real estate to tell the student story and talk about student and alumni stories, where we can then highlight again the rich diversity of student life here. Health and wellness, as I said kind of at the outset, being such a big part of our brand, having that opportunity to again connect site visitors to our health content. One of the things now, you have to dig a little bit, not too far, but a little bit, to learn about campus events. And so there's a lot happening here. And so we want to bring that up to the top and really highlight a curated list of campus events. And so things that would show, again, that vibrancy of the student life here. Home stretch, I promise. So we get down toward the bottom. And again, after telling this story and having had that rich content, again, we hope that people new to UT Tyler will come visit, check us out, request information, or apply now. And then we have kind of this nice little section at the bottom of the homepage where we want to integrate with Instagram and kind of have a little bit less polished, a little bit more real photos and content to engage with all stakeholder groups. And so we would look at having an ingest Instagram content. And then at the bottom, you have all of those things that are both mandatory and helpful. So links to directories and campus maps and the library and the Cowan Center, and also the UT Tyler Athletics. So that is the desktop display, but we also wanted to really look at with intentionality how we present the on a mobile device. And so this is here showing kind of how the different sections and the modules really stack up nicely. So you see that program finder, you see some of that storytelling content, you see those brag points, more storytelling, events that would rotate with the different calls to action. And the hamburger menu, as it's sometimes euphemistically called, then shows kind of how the different nav would work. So very clean, very contemporary, and should be very intuitive to all users. So like I said, next steps, I have a few more groups that I'm going to be talking to and getting feedback. And over the summer, we're going to be planning to do a sprint on content development. So lots of writing of pages, lots of video and photography, with the goal to launch mid-fall of this year. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions either from the chat or the group senators in the room. Yeah.
With the events that you had on the website, is that integrated with Patriots Engage?
TBD. So
Okay.
Should I?
Yes. Oh, hold on. I think their mic cut out.
Can you hear me? So the question, and this was a question from also a faculty member earlier today, is does this, but not that exact flavor, but does this interact with Patriots Engage? We're working on it. I think at this point, the how is something we're looking at. There's some different ways that we can approach the event curation. And so right now it's basically Patriots Engage and then not much else. And so what we're planning to do is to look at there's a module that's in the content management system we're planning to deploy. There's other modules that do integrate. So the goal would be to have something that's sustainable, and that it can be, the content can be syndicated. I think I'm using the right fancy lingo, but because really the idea, what we want to do is a little bit to get away from having, everything that you have to drill down into. But the example today, it was a music faculty member who was asking questions about kind of the how we would manage this, because the music department has lots of events. They have recitals, kind of around the clock this time of year. And so we wanted to figure out how we could have a tool that would have content that could be created and curated on the School of Music or the College of Arts and Sciences, but then syndicate up to homepage or to a college page. And so I think the question about Patriots Engage is a good one, and kind of a different flavor, but one that we'll be working to navigate.
So I really love the topographic section and the story behind that. One of the questions I did have about that, though, is so a lot of students love Easter eggs. And so I know one of the things that would be cool is if we could, in facilities probably has this, but possibly a topographic map of campus.
I feel like you were hanging out outside of the UC when I was talking to Andy Krause after University Council. I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's exactly the type of thing that I want us to have, because that's unique. That's not, that's not just pulling something, off of Google. That's that's truly unique and sets us apart. And that's really that's why I'm here. That's why we've done this process the way we've done it, because we want it to be, special to us. It's like a fingerprint. Yeah. So I love it. Absolutely. That's my goal as well.
I know you had a tab at the bottom of the page for the athletic, page. Do you plan to incorporate any other athletic stuff on this website? I think a video or something would be good, because I feel like a lot of prospective students look into athletics.
Another great question. So yes, so our intent and really what we're trying to do with particularly the homepage, but also some of these different audience-based landing pages, is to show the full picture. And so, the goal is going to be to integrate, and so I could see right now, athletic events are not really on our homepage. We do have some videos showing athletics, but I'll say that we want to integrate Cowan events. We want to integrate athletic events. We want to integrate student events in this section. We want to tell the story of student athletes. We want to highlight athletics in general. And so I think my point is, I guess we're still kind of building, but I absolutely see athletics as an incredibly important part of our campus community, of our student life. And so we want to highlight that and lift that up. And so really, I think I both want to have it kind of organically included, but then this link down here is not like an afterthought. But this would be kind of the evergreen way for someone that wants to go straight to the Patriots website, which is a separate website. I should have said that Cowan has a separate website, athletics has a separate website, but really the intent is to bring pretty much everything else under this uttyler.edu umbrella. But I would imagine there's going to be links to athletics on current students, on faculty and staff, on alumni, under student life. And so I think there's going to be a lot of different ways that we're going to be trying to connect and depict athletics on this website. And that was also a question that came up this morning.
You mentioned, or Senator Minnick, you mentioned a storytelling aspect of the website and how you want to tell the stories of the students here at UT Tyler. My suggestion is, have you considered doing some kind of like a blog? I know that would be kind of like so 2010, but some kind of way that you can actually tell current or recurring stories that are going on in the UT Tyler realm. And I'm not done. And so that way you have that opportunity to tell the stories, right? And it creates a personable kind of impression of UT Tyler, that they know and they care and they are cheering on their students. And also is going to attract new, students as well. Also, are there any opportunities for someone who is maybe closer in age to the people you're trying to attract in the day-to-day process of creating this website? Because I'm thinking, wouldn't you want the voice of someone who is more in touch with what they're going to want and what they're going to be looking for whenever they're going to find a college they want to pay bunches of money to go to?
Like this pause for the mic to make it across the room. So first off, on the blog question, that's a great suggestion, and a lot of universities have that. That's not currently like a phase 1 launch idea, but it's something that I think I'm open to, and if future student leaders have thoughts on partnering on that, I think that that's something that, again, I'm very open to. And It is absolutely not as substantive as a blog would be, but I think part of the intent of that Instagram feed is to try to show a more organic and real integration with student life, and and even that, you know, it's good. There's social media reel and versus, you know, a longer form storytelling. So in full transparency, that's not like something that we've baked into this process at this point, but it's something that I think I'm absolutely open to looking at, but with an eye toward sustaining it. And then in terms of the student involvement, that is partially why I'm here, and why, but it's also why we've done a lot of talking to students to get to this point. And so, you know, a lot of the focus groups had an emphasis on current students. That's why we did a survey, and the student response, if I'm remembering the numbers, was, you know, kind of neck and neck with staff and faculty. And so, you know, we're trying to include that. And I think as we continue to develop the content, there will be, particularly when we're interviewing students and talking to students, you know, that's where I think that student voice will kind of come to the forefront. But also, we have student employees in the marketing communications department, and I think we're always looking to grow that. So, you know, if anyone is interested in, you know, I don't necessarily have like a wealth of paid internships or student positions, but come talk to me, or, you know, you can reach out after. I would love to have more student voices on the team, and we do right now. I mean, like our social media, we have is really very much influenced by a UT Tyler student. So I think point well taken, and my commitment is absolutely for. This is not a website for me or other people who wear suits to work. You know, I mean, that's actually, I think, has been really refreshing. And honestly, at other institutions, oftentimes projects like this really get mired in institutional hierarchies. Here, I feel like there's a real spirit of, you know, we're all in this together, and this is all about our students, which I think says something about UT Tyler. That's why it's a great place to be.
Senator Vargas. So I just have a question about this. I'm not entirely sure if you'll be able to answer this. I noticed that there was a research tab on the menu. Could you maybe like tell us if that brings students to a tab where they can see the current research opportunities available to them and how to get involved with that?
So that's a great question. And again, I can give probably half an answer and half an informed answer at this point. The intent of that is to highlight research in every form here at UT Tyler. So everything from student research opportunities to faculty research to clinical research. And so we've actually launched a new microsite for clinical research that would be absorbed into this project, and really the intent would be partnering with the Office of Research and Graduate Studies to develop that content out, and really to ideally do exactly what you're saying, is to connect students and to amplify that awareness so that more students are doing research. I think that hands-on learning is part of our QEP, our quality enhancement plan. And so, you know, I think that hands-on learning goes hand in hand with research. And so absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, let me see. There's not. Is that from Soren earlier? Okay.
Sorry, my camera's.
So under each of the sections for academics, admissions, student life research, and about, do you have a rough draft on what sections would be included in that, or is that still in flux?
Not for every one of those pages. Where we're at now is there are wireframes that have been developed, but that's kind of the precursor to something like you're seeing today. This is still very much a work in progress and iterative, but we do have wireframes for some of those pages, but not all of them. And we do plan to develop out a whole new suite of templates. And so that's really kind of what I'm trying to do this month, is get any feedback that would influence all of those other pages. And so that before we really move into design and content development, that we would make sure that we feel good about the direction we're going. And so far, I feel like we're on that path, but you know, there might be some course adjustments as we go. So right around now, I'm going to give it, I've been saying mid fall. I'll translate that to a real date. And knowing that these sometimes go quicker or more often get delayed, we're targeting right around November 1st. So end of October, beginning of November for launch, for a phase 1 launch.
And is phase 1 just the homepage, or is it a website wide?
So phase 1 is, we've articulated it as homepage plus everything one level down, which is actually a lot. You know, there's a ton of content off the homepage. And I think I can go further and say, you know, really given the focus on prospective students, that we would try to build out that full prospective student content funnel. But my goal is to get as much as possible. And, you know, there are occasionally launches that have the whole site come in, and that would be the goal. But right now, what we're committing to is that homepage and one level down.
I believe that is it. Thank you all for your comments. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Vice President Noblet, for taking us out of the 2010s and into the modern 2020s. Up next, we have Associate Provost, Dr. Colleen Swain, to come and discuss some items that might be relevant, especially for the incoming student government. So thank you all for welcoming her, and thank you for coming, Dr. Swain.
Thank you. It is an honor to be here. First of all, thank you, senators who have dutifully served every week. Like sometimes your meetings go hours. So y'all are rock stars. So thank you. I really appreciate the work that you do on behalf of students at UT Tyler. So thank you. And congratulations to the incoming senators and new officers. So I'm really excited. It's a great day for all for our university. And thank you, President Smith. There we go. I was like, oh dear. That happens when you get old. So thank you, President Smith, for the work that you have done. This year, we're, honored and privileged to have such a great student government association at UT Tyler. So I do want to thank you for that, because I've been at other schools where sometimes it's not as functional as it is here. So I really appreciate the work y'all do. I also want to appreciate the way that y'all have worked with Ashley Bill this year on ways that we can elevate undergraduate advising. And I know that, again, that's additional time that you've spent. So thank you for working with us. I did want to share a couple of things. First of all, hopefully you have seen the posters that say ready, set, enroll. And that is this Thursday. And if you have already enrolled for fall, wonderful. Show that you have enrolled for fall, and you can get your free Chick-fil-A sandwich and some chips and a drink. I think that's what we're serving right now. Okay. I know it's Chick-fil-A. I know I'm not lying on the sandwiches part. Oh, that's right. In the photo booth. Yes. And then hopefully will be good weather on Thursday and good games and stuff outside on Patriot Preview. And I know there's also financial aid will be out there to be in, they'll actually be in the UC ballroom to answer questions on financial aid and scholarships. And so Thursday is kind of a big day. I wanted to thank you. It's kind of like great minds all think alike, because y'all have been thinking about seminars for incoming freshmen. And we have been thinking about seminars for incoming freshmen. And so this upcoming fall, colleges will be hosting 0 credit seminars, but where we require them for our incoming freshmen. And actually in some areas, we're going to also be piloting incoming transfer students, because honestly, you experience culture shock as an incoming transfer student as well. And just because you've been successful at a different college doesn't mean you know where everything is here and all of those kinds of things. So, but we are starting the incoming FTIC. Hopefully several colleges will also be launching for their transfer students, but that will be launching this fall. And some of the things that will be happening there are success strategies on just using the tools that we have at UT Tyler, but also learning about research-based study strategies that are effective. I hate to tell y'all, but some of the strategies you use, we know are not going to really work. And so let's just nip those in the bud, not use those, and use the ones that research shows this actually works, and it actually helps you think about how to process the information and then to be able to actually retrieve the information, like on tests. That would be cool. So it'll do that, but it will also be helping you learn and make connections with the different advisors, with different faculty members, with different, your college career coaches, but where you're building affinity to your discipline and to your college, and also having that stability of one, here's a group that we can meet with every week, 1 hour. It's not going to break you or anything like that, but it's just this built-in support system. So I was delighted when President Smith came to Faculty Senate and said, you know, SGA, we've been thinking about freshman seminars. And I'm like, yes, we are too. So thank you for your good idea. We're actually, we were all thinking of that together, and we're going to be implementing that. We're going to be having a task force on getting a new 24/7 tutoring program. We've been using Upswing for a long time, and Upswing was the best that was out there in 2017. Guess what? It's not 2017. It is not the best package anymore. And so we will be having a task force, Dolly Meyer, who oversees our tutoring and our SI program. She's going to be leading that. And we will have an SGA representative. We're going to also have faculty whose their courses are supported by the new programs that are out there. We'll have students who go to tutoring, and, you know, because we can track who goes to tutoring and who uses the online tutoring, get their input. And so there'll be a task force happening so that we can pick the best new 24/7 tutoring package for you. And so that will be coming up. We've had some of these, but we're going to continue to work on those. And that is student success seminars. Because even though you might not be an incoming freshman or an incoming transfer student, Sometimes there's some things that you think, oh man, I wish I knew that. And sometimes you hit courses in your degree program that you think, oh my gosh, have you ever taken a test, y'all? And you thought, I think the professor gave us the wrong test, because I went to class and I still have no idea what's going on here. Has that ever happened to you? I've been in, yeah, I've taken one of those tests where I'm thinking, I think they gave us the wrong test, because I clearly don't notice. But we're going to be having different seminars. One, what do successful college students do? Again, research-based study strategies. Because some of the stuff that we learned were hacks, actually, and didn't really help us learn. And so some of those, developing a growth mindset. How do we deal with moving forward on challenging things? So growth mindset. What to do when you bomb a test. I know that's never happened to any of you, but I mean, I see the reports come in and it does happen on campus. And so we need to let people know, what do you do when you bomb a test? Well, you know what? I have done that before. I've actually sat in class before and cried. So, I mean, I get it. And so that's a valid answer. But after we get through the crying part, and then I usually go eat like ice cream or something like that. But, and I think you eat chocolate. Oh, how do you know? Because I've sat with you before at things. You're, I know it's okay to be a chocolate guy. So, but we'll have some of those. We've been offering some of those, but this time there's going to be a schedule. And when you come on campus in the fall, you're going to know what the schedule is for the fall. And you can maybe even put them on your calendar. So we've been doing that. And then one other thing that I'll be doing is I'm going to have an advisory group that is just going to be an undergraduate studies student academic focused advisory group. I will have 1 or 2 senators only, because I'll also be pulling in students from different areas, different student groups. I want to make sure we have a first gen. I want to make sure I have all different kinds of students as we think about how do we continue to improve and how do we continue to help you meet your goal and be the very best you can be. And that's going to be one. We've been tossing back and forth whether it's going to meet monthly or every other month, because we don't want it to be, oh my gosh, so we don't want it to be something that is Debbie Downer, but we also do want it to meet frequently enough that if something comes up that we can start working on it. And so those are some things that are upcoming for the upcoming school year. And so I'm happy to attempt to answer any questions. Oh, lots of questions.
So part of those, back to what I was saying, part of those seminars, I do have a question about that because I think it's a great idea. We've talked about it in the advisory, the advising committee with Ashley after our meetings and stuff. In those seminars, will they be taught at some point, like how to read their PARs and understand what they need?
We'll have some of what we're going to be doing is honestly having beginning Zoom sessions that even predate when you step on campus. Because let's face it, before you come, you're like really excited. And so those are the times that you could be watching those seminars and having those webinars. And to be honest with you, for some of our incoming freshmen, it also might be helpful that their parents know about those things too. Not that we're saying that Everybody's an adult. But, you know, moms still are the world's best at going, have you eaten? Do you have your pants on? You know, so it could be, have you checked your PAR? Is this class really necessary? So we are doing some of that. So great question though. Thank you.
For the Senator Carnes, for the 24/7 tutoring service we want to provide, is that going to be an online or an in-person service?
What a great question. Thank you. We have multiple flavors of tutoring. We have face-to-face, you know, with set hours. We have virtual Zoom. And then the specific task force is looking for the 24/7, it's online. But it's, you know, it's not that you have to come to campus, because quite frankly, many times y'all are doing your homework like at 2 a.m. That's okay. I'm sleeping at 2 a.m, but that's whatever floats your boat. And so we want to make sure that if you get stuck at 2 a.m, you also have some options.
I have a couple questions and one suggestion. So first off, for your seminars that you're offering, especially particularly in reference to like the research-based study strategies, what measurements do you have in place to make sure that it's also accessible to neurodivergent people as well? Suggestion, like recording it so that way they can go back and rewatch it. Maybe like a brief set of notes so that way they have that to reference back to, because knowing me, violently ADHD, I'm going to forget. It's going to go one ear and out the other. So having some kind of way to re-access that would be really, really beneficial. And then same thing kind of with the actual things that you offer. I think having some kind of support for people who are neurodivergent, or just in keeping accountable for studying period for all people, because sometimes it takes a long time to get a diagnosis. So like possibly some kind of like weekly study group to where that's your sole focus, maybe like I don't know, some kind of floor in the library booked for a little bit. So that way you have that extra push besides just the, once or twice a year night against procrastination kind of thing as well.
Well, thank you. And we are looking at different student populations and special populations. And honestly, aren't we all special? And so, it's just finding different ways to support the variety of people that we have going to school here. We will have all of our seminars recorded. Then you can look at the slide decks that go with them. So we're building in those supports. Because honestly, our brains wander. And some of us more quickly than others. And that's just something we have to figure out and work with that. So yes, we will have built-in supports for those resources. And we're also thinking about that even in terms of how we think about our tutoring. And the other academic resources. So we really do want to truly touch everybody. I've got one question here and then I'll get to you, Robert.
Yeah, so you had said that there was going to be a new set of advisors that were specifically for like academics. I just wanted to ask, like, what were some of the things that they were going to be providing? Like, if a kid is struggling in a class, like, are they going to be able to go and talk about that? Like, I'm just asking like more of like what they're going to be providing specifically.
Okay, these are not different advisors. This is, I'm trying to think where we're going to have resources, academic resources. So your advisors, we've got the college advisors, and they're going to be aware of all the supports. but really on the success seminars, those are going to be taught by different faculty members or staff members. For instance, all of these are based in cognitive science. And so, you know, for some of them, because some of you really like to get your nerd on about these things, and that's good. And so we'll provide a little bit of here's what the technical thing is, but also really diving down into that strategy. And, you know, because if you only partially know a strategy and you don't know it enough to use it, then why'd you bother learn? You know, you really haven't gotten to learn it really because you hadn't gotten to practice and use it. And so we'll have different kind of supports on that, but your academic advisors will still be your academic advisors.
So as a person that went through the Souls Success Seminar here and has gotten to talk with Dr. Swinberg extensively about it, it is amazing that we are now being able to have this great program at all the colleges. So I commend you all for that. But I did have a question regarding the specifics of the course itself. So whenever I gone through the Success Seminar, one of the things that we had was different organizations come in, talk to us about what their organization does, what it offers, what programs are specific to the college itself. I would never have joined the Souls Ambassadors here or be as included here in the college as I am now if it was not for that Success Seminar. So I was kind of wanting to ask you about not only how the college, the aspect of within the seminar, not only how the college works, but being able to tell those students what resources are available to them.
Well, we've got 14 weeks in a seminar. And so it weeks, you know, and so we're not going to make people every week, here's the study strategy for this week. That would be awful. So we have all different kinds of different topics for each week. And absolutely, there are sections, get to know your student organizations, get to know the department chairs in your college, you know, so that you make sure as a freshman that, you know, because you may think, oh, I started out in management, but I think I might want to go to marketing. Actually, that's the same chair, but, you know, or I might want to, I was in accounting. And so I know Dr. Lyerly, but now I think, you know, marketing speaks my language. So, oh, here's Dr. James. And, you know, so we have all of those introductions and built in many opportunities that the college shines through. Matter of fact, it's probably about a third of the seminar that's exclusively related to the college. But I'm glad it was a positive experience. Oh, sorry, Landry.
All right. Okay, so I have a couple of questions and they may be a little too specific, so just let me know. But first question would be, I know in the honors college, we already have a seminar for freshmen, sophomore, and all the way up. And as you get older, you start doing your like research and your senior year and stuff like that. So this seminar that y'all are implementing, will it have different subsections for different, well, to cater to students that are doing different lines of work? So for example, biology, will you have like one that's more medical versus research, or will it all be pretty general? And then, sorry, second part of the question. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But then the second part of the question would be for these students who already have the seminars, like the honor students and biology students, would this be an additional seminar on top of that, or would it be already taught within the seminar that's already required?
All right. I hope I can answer all these questions. So if I forget one, just let me know. Okay. The seminars are by college. Now, like in CAS, we're going to have I think my last discussions with CAS, and again, the college gets to figure out their own seminar. We provided, here's what the research shows on, if you have these, it's really helpful to help students, but colleges still get to do, but really in CAS, we're going to have a STEM, non-STEM, or STEM humanities. here's a STEM one, here's a humanities one. Some people are in special populations. And so we will look, oops, sorry about that. We will look to see how might that work. Now, this is one semester only. So it's not going to be like in honors, you have a seminar every, freshman, sophomore. It won't be like that. For if the college opts to do, again, for the transfer student, it will be one semester only. And some colleges are saying, I think for our transfer students, instead of a 14-week, we'll do a 7-week. Because transfer students have shown that they are successful at doing college. We just need to make sure that they can do college at UT Tyler. So, but as far as I've seen from what I've heard from the colleges and how things are going, not everybody has everything mapped out. But like biology seminar, it doesn't replace your, it would not conflict because again, you wouldn't be in that area. So it's a first time only.
So this is a two-part, but I'm just going to ask the first one just to start off with. It's not that hard. So you had mentioned research-based study skills. Now, is this going to be based off of Dr. Chu's research that you guys had purchased?
We didn't purchase Dr. Chu's research. Dr. Chu is a cognitive scientist who puts his stuff out on YouTube. So we don't, he is one of the cognitive scientists that we use their materials. One thing that I didn't think to mention, but I will say right now, all of our undergraduate programs will be going through an undergraduate review. Now, that doesn't mean everybody goes through it next year. Everybody within 5 years goes through, and every undergraduate program gets reviewed every 5 years. And we are asking departments to really look purposefully, where might you be able to think about adding a micro-credential in? How might you have the opportunity for all undergraduates, not just special ones, but all undergraduates to participate in some kind of research, or for them to experience some kind of experiential learning within. So it's not just always taking course, took the course, took the test, got the grade, moving on, that it's a more meaningful experience. And so, my goal would be for every undergraduate at UT Tyler to have some type of research experience. Because even teachers, we are teacher researchers. We're wondering, why didn't you get that when this person did get that? That's a research question. So we can all wonder. So I hope that helped. Okay.
Thank you so much for coming, Dr. Swain. We really appreciate it. Wow. I'm very happy to hear about those freshman seminars and them being required. I think that'll be a huge help for, and especially the transfer ones. I think that'll be a huge help for incoming and transferring students. All right, we'll go ahead and move right along to officer reports. My report's not very extensive. I got to meet with Dr. Calhoun last week, along with President-elect, but not for much longer, Chloe Dix. And I think it was a very fruitful conversation. And we will be meeting one more time before the semester is over, and then the show is y'all's. But yeah, Vice President Bennett.
So I've been working on making sure that Beverly knows the ropes coming in for next year as vice president. And I've also been getting stuff ready for banquet, which we'll be saving for committee reports. So, yep.
In terms of secretary duties, I updated the website, completed the minutes, and just kept the Instagram updated with events that are going on. And then kind of outside of secretary, I, like Landry said, met President Calhoun officially for the first time, and had breakfast with my mentor, Councilman Westbrook, and he's ending his term as councilman. So that was kind of a nice last little meetup. And then I had lunch with the mayor with President Smith. So just catching up on what's going on around the school.
Hello, everyone. On the forefront banquet, it's kind of like, because it's next week, it's kind of like on the front burner. Other than that, really trying to update everything into the share drive and the like budget expenditure stuff. I'm still missing things and you guys will see it later. As you can see that we have a budget presentation. But getting everything ready for next year is definitely second. And then just some updates. The Rolling Patriots Guilds event, the LARP Day one on April 1st actually got canceled. Carrie Sullivan actually went ahead and bought the waters. So if you guys know any groups that want waters, we have them in the office. We can just kind of like take them. But they're there. It was only like $20, so not a big L on us. And then I had to reach out to the social work club. They had troubles with their emails still, but I got their receipt from CCs, so that's finally getting updated. And then the First Generation Patriots, which is this whole mess and stuff, but they ended up buying their own items. I told them we can do a reimbursement if their advisor through the SGAC policy, if their advisor purchased the items, but they didn't. So I had to kind of deny it on their end. But everything so far is mostly that.
I've been working on some of the last items in rules committee for the end of the year. And I've also been updating the chief of staff document and working on getting some new documents in the share drive for future student governments.
So we discussed the awards for banquet, so get excited for that. And also the different things that we will need for banquet. We also discussed finals bags coming up, so we'll be putting those together for finals week. And also we have invitations for the banquet as well. So if you will be attending a banquet, please come to me afterwards and get your invitation.
In communications, we just talked about kind of the last few posts that I'm going to be posting as secretary on the Instagram. So like the senior spotlights, the new executive board, and a banquet photo dump.
So with SGAC, we actually had scheduled hearings with Women in Math and Science, the Muslim Student Association, and the Reform University Fellowship. The only one that showed up was Rough. They actually got approved. They have an event on the 15th, which is a Saturday, for a Rough Barn event. It's going to be like a dance and stuff, open to all students. You guys should go. And then no more SGAC for the rest of the semester. So that one was the last one. So you guys don't have to show up on Wednesday.
We talked about and finished the last presentation we'll be giving shortly.
Since it is the last meeting, I didn't have anything for student voice reports, but for our incoming student government, just an example of how this would work is that typically I would have a college or a residence hall or student body at large. Is the mic not working? Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I think I got like 4 hours of sleep, so I forgive, or it's all my fault.
Okay. So this Friday, we're having a campus cleanup event. 5 p.m. South end of the trail at the pharmacy building. So everyone come. It's kind of like what we did last year, but not as like intense per se. But yeah, everyone show up.
Awesome. That is what day was it again? This Friday. Awesome. And where will y'all be meeting at? Awesome. All right. Sorry, everybody. It just goes to show that you can do this for a whole year and still not be able to do it right every time. But anyways, student voice reports. Normally there would be a college up here and you being the senator for that college or for a residence hall or for a distance campus or for a student body at large. We would go around and y'all report on the things that are going on in that specific constituency, raise any concern that is going on and what maybe you are doing about it to address those concerns. So I don't have anything listed specifically, but if there's anything super pressing, I was hoping that maybe, sure, Senator Vargas.
Okay, so let's talk about
All right, how we all doing tonight? So what I got to talk about tonight is 2 weeks ago, we just had our last Dean Search Committee interview. And last week, we just came up with the final conclusion, came to a consensus, and then we were sending up our recommendations up to Dr. Mimaran, the provost. And then they will reconvene and make the final decision of who's going to be the new dean of the College of Education and Psychology. Aside from that, any pressing issue, sorry, I can't speak today, was the major field test courses that we're having to go through, because psychology majors do have to take a major field test just so the way we could show what we learned kind of stuck, kind of reflects on the program and stuff. And so there was kind of an issue with that, because I guess during the whole IT spoof with the emails and stuff, not everyone received the emails. And so there's a lot of people who were like, didn't know this thing even existed up until 2 days ago when they resent another one out. And so, and it's a requirement to graduate. And if you don't, you do not graduate. So that is one thing that we were dealing with, but they finally got that fixed.
Great. And then, yeah, we would have multiple constituencies on there, but moving on. Does anybody have any items for old business? All right, seeing none, we will move to new business. I entertain a motion to discuss the budget.
Carried said motion. Second.
Carried and seconded. Beverly, if you wouldn't mind coming up here. Did you send it to my email, faculty? Okay, perfect. Let me just run to that really quickly.
It was just like a smiley face.
That's not me. Hold on. We'll just do it this way. I know, very 2010s. All right.
I don't have my signature.
Okay, that was a very convoluted way to get there, but we got there. There you go.
Hello. So for the most part, this is going to be kind of similar to what I showed you guys earlier in January, but I updated it. It has a little pig on it. So this is mostly for this semester because we talked about last semester last time. For a recap, this is exactly the same. This is what we work with for the entire academic year. SGA training and then SGA awards is obviously just for the spring, just kind of recapping on that. So it is $28,959 that we work with. And then that is split in half. And then so we get about 19,000 for one semester and then the next semester. Okay, so a little update on the SGAC from last semester. So we budgeted 5,000 for SGAC. If you don't know what that is, it's where organizations can request money like food and stuff. We noticed that we had a lot of money left over and we didn't want to move too much, but we decided we'll move $1,000 to events. And so we actually spent only $1,527. And that's how much we had left over. The next slides are just the organizations and what they requested. You can go down. There's 3 slides over that. So these are the organizations that have requested through SGAC this semester. You'll see that those have dashes. Those are Walmart orders that I haven't gotten like the receipts or the actual like amounts for. So that's why it's like that. I know the pre-health was about $70. And I know the Black Student Association, they had that Amazon order that got like delayed because of the weather and then they returned it and then it got lost. And so I never got an update on that. So, but I did send an email. So hopefully I get something soon. We so far have only spent $1,200 ish on SGAC alone. We do have some things still coming in. So you can go to the next one. Rolling Patriots Guild, like I said, it should be about $21. It was just water. So everybody else ordered pizza. You can go to the next one. And then you can see those are TBD because those events haven't happened yet. So obviously nothing was ordered, but we should be getting those in and getting a final amount soon. For the next one, we haven't spent that money. So it's the little, you can go to the next one. It's a little sad face. So really stressing on senator projects, events, you know, because that's money that we allot for us and for the university students here. And we haven't really done much with it. So that money is just sitting there. So you'll see we have a lot of money left over. For events, we actually went over $3,000 last semester. This semester, we are actually a lot under. So far, it's just Sodexo for midnight breakfast. But we moved out 1,000, so that was supposed to help. And then, so we're waiting on the Wall-E movie for the Environmental Sustainability Committee's event, and then final bags. That shouldn't be a lot. Movies are about like 500 to 700, and then final bags should be about $100. So we should still be under budget. No events for the satellite campus because we do a lot of money for them. Marketing, we only spent about $500 last semester. This semester, we did spend a little bit more. We did split shirts in three, I think it was campus activities, student engagement, and then us. This semester, we only split it in half, and it ended up being 1,000 or so. Yeah. And so those are for the midnight breakfast shirts and then the white SGA shirts that we ordered for extras. We did go over just a little, but technically it doesn't really matter because we moved that $628 that we had extra last semester over. And so we use that too. And that's what the next one is. So yeah, so technically not over. SGA awards, this still a lot of to be determined because we're in the process of that. Like I said, it's next week. We did get the invitations and that's how much that one was. Event still has money. So if we need to, we can dig into that, but I don't think we need to. And then we didn't go to the Houston campus sadly on Monday. So we still have that money that we haven't used, office expenses, stuff like that. My plan though, and if it's fine with everyone else, is getting like tabling material, getting shirts and stuff ahead of time for next academic year because we do have a lot of money sitting. So I didn't get the right number. I took pictures, but I cut it off. But last I checked, we had about $7,500 left. Again, stressing on the senator projects and the events, because that's how much we have. And usually we're a lot closer. Yes. Is that the money you have for the rest of this semester and summer?
Question was, is that the money that you have left over for the rest of the semester and summer?
So for the summer, we don't really have money because this is only for the academic year. We split it in half for the fall and the spring. All this money that we don't use is going to get reabsorbed. So I would like to use and be intentional with us using it too, because that's the money that the university gives to us or like separates for us. And if we don't use it, then someone can be like, well, they aren't using the full amount. Let's doctor, the amount that they get. And so we want to be more intentional. And I know because we don't get the projects and stuff in, that should be a lot lower than what it is right now. Summer is more just like waiting until we get the budget for the fall, if that makes sense. So Camry says we can use the money in the summer, but we could use it for tabling stuff.
All right. Any other questions? I entertain a motion to close discussion. Seconding. Oh, good. All right, I'll move to the next business item. And then we'll do swear-ins. I entertain a motion to discuss rules. All right, Soren.
Oh, no.
I'm trying to remember where I kept it. No, I got it. Hold on. What website? Okay, here we go. Gotta do the shuffling so I can get to the. Well, I don't think it's working.
Oh, just drag that thing down.
Oh, I can move this?
Yeah.
What?
I think if you grab, right there.
Right here?
You drag it down.
You learn something new every day. All right. I know, yeah. Old dog still learning new tricks. All right. All right, take it away, Soren.
So I'll keep this quick for all y'all. So this is the proposal that myself and Rules Committee has been working on. And if we'll go to the next slide, you can see what it is. So we were looking to increase the minimum cumulative GPA required for senators from 2.0 as it is right now to 2.5. And the reason we want to do this is because we don't think 2.0 as a minimum really reinforces like what we're here to do. In particular, academic success is the thing that we're all here. It's the reason why we're at college, the reason why we're at this university is to engage ourselves in academic success. And if we're not really achieving that, then that should be the priority for everyone. And I think the 2.5 GPA aligns our expectations with other student organizations such as Greek Life, where the standard is much higher. And again, we want to encourage higher standards for people who are representing the student body in a really important way. So yeah, if we'll go to the next slide. So some questions that people may have about if someone falls below that GPA, we tried to create a system that would accommodate that. So this system is called the appeal process, and is where any student who does fall below a 2.5 GPA, if they're a senator, would be able to appeal to the judicial board for the circumstances about their GPA. And as you can see right here, this is the process. They would have a chance to explain their circumstances, like maybe, you know, you're an engineering major, maybe your grades have been on an upward trend, maybe you had a significant life event that impacted your GPA. Those are all completely understandable reasons to not necessarily be meeting that GPA threshold. And the judicial board would then say, okay, like, we want you to get your GPA up, but we totally understand your circumstances and you're all good because we see that you're trying. And so that is sort of what we came up with for if someone does fall below that GPA, ways that we can reinforce academic success and, you know, help people in student government. So if we go to the next slide, this is just the change in the Constitution, just changing the standard right now, which is 2.0 to 2.5. And the appeal process that we created would be something that just, you know, it's not necessarily in the Constitution. It just draws from the powers that the judicial board already has to interpret the rules and interpret the Constitution. So I'd like to open it up for any questions, comments, concerns, disagreements.
Motion to approve the changing constitution from a 2.0 to a 2.5.
Yeah, I'm going to veto that. I think there should be a little bit more discussion. And even if most people agree on this, I don't think that this is something that should be decided now and should be decided by next year's SGA. But I do think it is a worthwhile opportunity to have discussion on it.
Senator Gobea, I really enjoy the addition of an appeal process. Last time we had a discussion, that was a huge point of contingency. It's like you're either there or you're not. An appeal process, I think, will definitely make, I guess, wanting to be a senator already more competitive than it already is. So I really enjoy. I'm for a raise of the GPA. I'm not going to motion to raise just because a whole lot more discussion I think is definitely needed to raise that. But I think the changes what you have here are great. I'm for them.
The other thing I will mention really quickly is that I wouldn't vote on this until the official language for what the appeal process looks like is in the Constitution. And so I'm assuming it's not fleshed out. Okay, which is fine. I'm just saying that probably want to have, you don't want to vote this in and then that not get voted in on accident, right?
Right. The reason was I wasn't sure about actually, I wasn't sure about actually putting this exact process in the Constitution right now because we want to see how some of this plays out. And I wanted the judicial board, when this comes up, to sort of find their own way to do it rather than, you know, us in Rules Committee saying how it's to be done, because I'm not really the expert necessarily on those situations. So.
Justin?
I will say that I think this is actually a pretty good idea compared to last year. This was a lot way better presented this time around than last time. And I think it was a fantastic idea that you guys added in the appeals process as well. Just because, as Dawn had said, that was a very heavily discussed topic last time around.
Sort of two-parter. One, do we know the amount of senators that are currently coming in, if they will be not able to serve under this, and will they be grandfathered in under this clause?
Yes, that's a good question. Obviously, this rule isn't really in effect yet, so it's not really being enforced on completely new senators. But I would guess that everyone like is above this, just, yeah.
We don't want to start looking at GPAs until we actually have to start looking at GPAs, if that makes sense.
I think the way that honors does this is really good. You get put on probation if you are under their GPA that you must reach. I think this could be a very good way to kind of have a meeting, let them know they're on probation, and then if it's not resolved, then you will be removed. So I think that could be a good fix.
How will y'all go about like checking everyone's GPA? Like, will people have to submit it or can you go in and like look?
The SGA advisor would have pretty big capital over that aspect of it.
Right. And additionally, just because, we are increasing the GPA, but everything that we do right now with the standard, which is 2.0, it would be the same. So the way we apply the standard of 2.0 would be the exact same way we apply the standard of 2.5.
I entertain a motion to table this discussion to the third meeting of next year's General Assembly.
Carried and seconded. All in favor of tabling this meeting to the third meeting, please raise your hand or do a thumbs up emoji. Third meeting of General Assembly. Yes, that's implied. Yeah. Here, make it more specific, I guess. I entertain a motion to table this discussion to the third meeting of the fall 2023 semester General Assembly meeting of student government. Carried and seconded. All in favor of tabling this meeting to the said time, please raise your hand. Note that if you are not sworn in yet as a senator, that you cannot vote on this. All opposed, please raise your hand or do a thumbs up emoji. Any abstentions? All right, that'll be tabled and should be noted by incoming student government. All right, thank you, Soren. All right, the moment most of you have been waiting for, swear-ins. So how this is going to work is I'm going to swear in President-elect Chloe. That will be my last act as president, and her first act as president will be to swear in her executive board. Once she has done that, Chief Justice Burleson will get to swear in the rest of the Senate. So, and whenever we do that, we're going to do all the Senate all at once. So whenever it says insert name, you are going to say your name all at once. And whenever it says office of blank, you are going to say the office of for whichever Senate position that you ran for. Does anybody have any questions before we do this? Okay. And then once you'll have been sworn in, the new senators will have the responsibility of closing the meeting once that time comes. So we will do, after swear-ins, we'll do advisor comments, do announcements, and then we will do adjournment. Is that cool with everybody? All right. President-elect, would you mind coming up here and raising your right hand and repeating after me? Let me just get to the page first. Oh, look at this. Watch. I learned something new, guys, and I'm using it right now. Oh, there we go. All right. President-elect Dix. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I insert name. Do solemnly swear that I shall faithfully represent the interest of the student body of the University of Texas at Tyler
interests of the student body of the University of Texas at Tyler.
I shall dutifully uphold and preserve
I shall dutifully uphold and preserve
the Constitution and bylaws
the Constitution and bylaws
of the Student Government Association
of the Student Government Association
while ardently executing the office of
while ardently executing the office of president
for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler.
for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler.
Congratulations.
Beverly. Please raise your right hand. I insert name,
I, Beverly Miller,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I shall faithfully represent
that I shall faithfully represent
the interests of the student body
the interests of the student body
of the University of Texas at Tyler.
of the student body of the University of Texas at Tyler.
I shall dutifully uphold
I shall
and preserve the Constitution and bylaws
and preserve the Constitution and bylaws
of the Student Government Association
of the Student Government Association
while ardently executing the office of
while ardently executing the office of Vice President
for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler.
for the student body of the University of Texas.
Congratulations. Erica. Please raise your right hand. I insert name. Do solemnly swear that I shall faithfully represent the interests of the student body of the University of Texas at Tyler. I shall dutifully uphold and preserve the Constitution and bylaws of the Student Government Association while ardently executing the office of for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler. Congratulations. Mona. Please raise your right hand. I insert name. Do solemnly swear that I shall faithfully represent the interests of the student body of the University of Texas at Tyler. I shall dutifully uphold and preserve the Constitution and bylaws of the Student Government Association while ardently executing the office of for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler.
At the University of Texas at Tyler.
Congratulations. I insert name. Do solemnly swear that I shall faithfully represent the interests of the student body of the University of Texas at Tyler. I shall dutifully uphold and preserve the Constitution and bylaws of the Student Government Association while ardently executing the office of for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler. Congratulations. You have that memorized? Chloe?
Who is it for? For all of the. Can all the incoming senators please come forward? I'll stand where you are. Yeah, don't come forward. Cool, okay. Even if you're a current senator, yeah, okay. And then everybody raise your right hand. Awesome.
This is gonna be crazy. I insert name. Do solemnly swear that I shall faithfully represent the interests of the student body of the University of Texas at Tyler. I shall dutifully uphold and preserve the Constitution and bylaws of the Student Government Association while ardently executing the office of for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler. Congratulations.
I'll finish out the meeting. All right. There's a few things that we need to mention, but first we have a special guest for advisor comments. You know her, you love her. It's Senior Vice President of Student Success, Ona Tolliver.
You, Landry. I appreciate it so much. Thank you guys for letting me have a moment to spend with you guys. I know that I am not the best stand-in for Josh Neves, who's your advisor, but he, as you know, is taking some quality time away. I mostly want to say thank you to Camry Tharp for stepping in. Let's give her a round of applause. She has been your true advisor, and I thank you for letting me just share a moment with you at the end of the semester. I am incredibly proud of you guys. I'm sorry, my voice has been coming and going this week, so my apologies, but I'm so very proud of the way that you guys have represented the student body. Dr. Swain mentioned earlier that it is a moment of pride for all of us when we know that you are advocating on behalf of yourselves, on behalf of your students, the student body, on behalf of your colleges, and that you are invested in the student experience. It takes a really dedicated individual to see this through for a full semester. And I'm so proud of you guys because I know that you're doing the work. I know that you guys are making the effort to connect with your faculty, to connect with your constituents, and to make sure that you are serving the student body in the best way possible. We don't take lightly as individuals who are employed at the university, who work alongside you, the administrators, the leadership, your faculty. We don't take lightly the student experience. We spend a lot of time and a lot of effort and have a lot of conversations with students, about students, and for students. And so just know for the new senators as you're coming in, our doors are wide open. My door is almost never closed. As a matter of fact, it's rarely closed. And that we are here for you. And I know Camry is here for you. And as Josh returns, in a few months, a few weeks, I guess, actually, he will also be here for you guys. You have done a really great job, I think, also of making sure that you're managing the day-to-day for student government. You've been looking out for the students' investment in their own education and holding us accountable as an institution, as a university, and fulfilling our commitment to you through both our mission and our vision. And so I thank you for that, because every single day that I come in and I get to work with you guys and I get to see you and I get to know you personally, what your goals are, what it is you're hoping to accomplish and achieve, it brings a greater sense of responsibility to me, not less. Every single day we are striving to do that work, and you guys are representative, absolutely, of every single student who is seen and unseen. For our students who are at our distance campuses, thank you for stepping up and advocating for the students on your campus. You're not invisible to us. And the fact that you have been committed and you've been dedicated and present for every single Senate that I've been a part of, and that I know in my conversations with Landry and with the rest of the executive board, that you guys are always looking for ways to make sure that the students are heard, that you are making sure that we know what your needs are, and that we are also, again, being held accountable for that. So I'm very proud of you guys. This is a wonderful opportunity for the new senators. We hope that you'll continue to be dedicated. And I really think we have to give a round of applause to your outgoing president, President Smith. I think you guys probably know by now that Landry is always a professional, that he always listens, that he is always available and visible to all of you guys. And I know, Chloe, that you're going to do the same. I am very happy that we have a president and Dr. Calhoun who always wants to know, what do the students think? How do the students feel about this? What is it that the students need? Are the students' needs being met? I cannot tell you how many times in my regular meetings with him, he asks that question. And I will always say to him, we will ask, let me find out what Landry thinks. And then he will come to you guys and get that feedback. So just know that, Chloe, as you're entering this position, never hesitate to reach out to us as you guys are continuing in your roles. And as we have our new officers that will be joining us, know that our doors are always open, that there is no question that shouldn't be asked. You should always come to us and let us know how we can help. And again, I just want to say congratulations to our outgoing senators, congratulations to our incoming officers, and congratulations to our outgoing officers as well. You guys have had a really hard job, and I think you've done it really well, and I'm very proud of you, and thank you for letting me have this moment.
Thank you, Ona. I can't state enough, and I know I speak on behalf of all the Senate and all of student government, that we really do appreciate the work that you do for us and representing us to administration and to the university as a whole. So thank you for all the work that you do. Now, the other advisor that you all know and love, the awesome superstar through the voting elections, and just the amazing stand-in that she's been in for Josh, and the friend that she's been to me, Camry Tharp.
I've never had such an introduction. Thank you. I really can't say much more than what Vice President Tolliver has said. Everything she said is true. It really encompasses the things that I have felt about you guys this semester. I've been so blessed to be able to stand in as your advisor this semester, because not only has it given me a sense of what SGA does in general, like I've said to y'all many times, but it's just reminded me that there are students on our campus that can be professional and want to learn and grow in this way, want to be representatives of the student body in the most positive light, and want to make positive change happen. And so, it makes me so proud to work here with you guys. And so thank y'all for letting me be a stand-in for Josh. Maybe one day I can get to continue on and do this when I grow up. But it really has been fantastic for me. And I thank y'all for letting me be here. So.
All right, just a few announcements before we go. Banquet. Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. This says Senator of the Week, but it should really say Senator of the Summer, because we aren't going to be doing this until the fall. So, you know what to do. Make it work. Yep. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Over there. Boom. Okay, now it shows. Congratulations. I guess you're not a senator anymore. You were at the time you were nominated, but Ronnie has been awesome. He's been a go-getter in not just student government, but every facet of student life and student engagement. So you get to be senator for the summer, even though that you are the next treasurer. So have fun enjoying those two titles at the same time. All right. Just a few announcements before we go. I know I said that already, and I'm going to say it again. But banquet is Tuesday, April 18th at 5:30 in the Fish College of Pharmacy. Robert, do you have anything that you want to share really quickly on that?
No plus ones, and please come get your invitation.
All right, there you go. If y'all have any questions, please, it is masquerade theme, correct? Masquerade theme. If nothing else, please be business professional, but black tie formal. Yeah, and Google. But yeah. I will let, oh. You can repeat it in there. Never mind, I'll just do it. It's fine. You gonna do it? All in favor of adjourning this meeting, please raise your hand or do a thumbs down emoji. Remember, current senators, incoming new senators can vote on this. All opposed, please raise your hand. We're gonna do a thumbs down emoji. Any abstentions? All right, goodbye, everybody.